Like a weightlifter with the weight on their shoulders bottomed out. I'm a regular footer, so I'd be going that way. Put your knees a little bit together. They're not all the way, just a little bit. Now I have a pyramid to equalize the weight between my front and rear trucks. So I'm stable if I'm all the way down. If I come up a little bit, I get wobbles. If I grab the board between my legs, I can get wobbles. Here's what you do instead. You put your downhill hand on the ground, right here next to you, and you roll both knees just like I'm sitting on the ground. This hand, the free hand, instead of grabbing between the legs, you'll notice my knee's all the way down. If my arm is in the middle, I can't get it down. So I want it instead reaching in the direction I'm going, and I'm looking where I'm going, which is up the road. When your hand reaches forward, it turns your upper torso, and it weights the inside rail of the board and initiates the slide. You don't have to push with your feet. So you start just by carves with one hand on the ground, just like this. Your chest is right over the front thigh. You're not leaning way back. You're right up here. You reach up here, look where you're going, and it's a nice carve at first, and then the more you reach your arm around, the board will begin to drift and slide to a stop. You want to use most of this road. Your eyes are always looking ahead where the traffic would be coming from. Now, here's some hand signals though. One or two hands in the air means stop. Always have gloves with you. And wear the other stuff, especially when you're learning, because your elbows are vulnerable and you're going to hit them once in a while. Down like the weight's on your shoulders all the way until you keep getting lower. You got it, Ray. Come on up.
Praise the Lord.
going to announce what the criteria is for judging. Style, speed, whether or not you complete the run is really important. How many tricks you do. If you think speed's everything, you're wrong. The best use of the whole road, instead of a direct line, if you can go back and forth and use the entire road, then you'll get points for that also. The degree of difficulty of the maneuvers you do, you'll get points for that. If you're creative, and this is the last one, and you show some creativity and you're able to pull it off, then you get a lot of points. You get to do what you want from the point where you take off until the bottom.
Watching you, watching me, shotgun out into my heart without a reason. All I want is to never die, but the beats of a different heart. What I'll do if you never tell, leave me an answer. I got chills, I'll bring it down and build again. Sit still, let me out so I can burn. My heart knows you won't return. Makes no sense of being alone. Cause I'm wasted. I got rescue from my fall. Take away my soul is there. Pay my bread, give me what I want. Give me an answer. Trying to step for you. I can't get past your eyes. Locked from the inside. I got chills. I bring it down and melt again. Sit still.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult.
Let me check. Try to step for you. I can't get past your eyes. Sweating through the night. Again, again, again. Watch out they fall. I got chills. I bring it down and build again. I sit still. I've got chills. I got chills. I got chills. I got chills.
Tests out there. I just gave my scores in. Dom is the only one that knows, and I'm as excited about finding out who did as you are. These guys, you know, it's the young kids and the guys that are Rich's age. That's the future of all this. There's some great talent at all levels and all ages here, but when the masses your age get involved, and it's coming, I just can't even imagine what's going to happen out there. It's going to be a lot of fun watching it. So.
Slide final with 17.85 is Pat.
Woo. All right.
Yeah!
In second place with 21.45 points. These numbers mean nothing to you, but to me they mean everything. Is Andy.
All right.
Yeah!
And in first place with 22.1 points is, where is he? Neil.
All right.
Faltown pool board, 34-inch.
Way to go, Neil.
Pucks supplied by Dazza, plus some zingers supplied by Dazza as well.
And, you know, sometimes people win and they don't expect it they're going to, and it's really pleasant. I think maybe that just took place here. He really had some great runs down there with a lot of variety, and you rolled away down at the finish and finished your runs, and that was really important on the scores.
It's funny for you, Darren, you've actually won some files. We should distribute. You had a Faltown t-shirt. Oh, that's right. Wear it pride.
Hey Darren, congratulations, man. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a puck.
Hey Alex.
Oh, the pucks.
Pucks are good. Great runs, man. Thanks, man.
That's awesome. Right. That's awesome. First place is Mark.
Yeah!
He's got another Just Like the hat to match the one he's got. And a Faltown hoodie and a Faltown t-shirt who he's sponsored by anyway. Thanks for being my friends. You guys.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'd like to thank everybody once again from the bottom of my heart. Coming here is a special place. It's a vacation for us the entire time we're here. So John Warburton, thank you. Twice in a row now. Big round of applause. I hope everybody enjoys what they're doing out there. It's an inexpensive way to get some exercise and have fun. So tomorrow we're going to go to the Ferry Inn. I hope to be there, the ferry boat. Well, I'm going to go to the Ferry Inn too. I really had fun here. I don't know what's going on next, but I'm done.
Rip it down and move it, and it doesn't tear. Yeah. If you use the wheel beforehand, you get some air bubbles out, and then make sure it bonds to the edge. If it doesn't bond properly to the edge, as you do it, it'll just rip in air everywhere.
So Cliff, can I ask you, what's it like being over in England with Sergio?
It's wonderful being here with Sergio Yuppie. I came from San Francisco area and Berkeley, California myself. Brought Sergio Yuppie with me from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Sergio and I have been here for about 20 days. We're leaving day after tomorrow. It's been a great tour. This is my third time here, and I came twice last year. I loved it so much I had to come back, and I wanted to show Sergio this place. We got our friend Cody here who's making a little commentary once in a while. Yeah, so we're very happy to be here and really enjoyed teaching and watching everybody demonstrate their slide skills.
Have you had any adventures on the road?
At my age, 55, I try to travel as much as I can. My children are both grown and capable. I love them, but I'm single and I'm free to go. So last year I came here in May. Then I went to Tasmania, Darwin, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, the Sunshine Coast, and the Gold Coast. Came back from Australia, and 3 days later I was on a plane back here to Falmouth in the south of England, here in Cornwall actually, and love it here. Then I went back home in January. I went to Costa Rica for 2 weeks and did a little cliff diving off the cliffs there and swimming in the ocean, and where the water temperature was 87 degrees and the air temperature was about 85 to 90. And it's very inexpensive to go there. It's a nice place to be. Came back from Costa Rica and took a trip to Morro Bay in Central California where I ran a clinic. That was a week after Mother's Day where I taught Mr. Lloyd Kahn, 70 years of age, how to ride and slide on a skateboard. And then the next week I was up in Canada and British Columbia for 5 days, and it's just gorgeous there, and there's a great skateboard scene at Coast Longboarding, and we have many friends up there. I want to take Sergio there possibly later this year. Came straight back from Canada and went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to the land of the ditches, where there may be 40 of them. An Indian school that we like the best is 1.5 miles of a smooth ditch that's downhill and fast. So it's fun, but it wears you out. It's at a mile high elevation, and so the oxygen's a little thinner, and you have to pace yourself because you could just fatigue to where your legs give out. It's that much fun. So then we came back from Albuquerque, went back home to Berkeley, and got ready to come here, and we've just wrapped up this tour. I'd like to say thanks to some people. I'd like to thank the people that put me up: Chris Tanner in Sheffield, Darren Rathbone at Shiner in Bristol, and John Warburton, who's put us up now 2 years in a row here in Cornwall. He lives down on the Lizard, a point almost Land's End, but not quite. And it's... We don't do that in California. But we're loving it here. This is very much like Northern California. If you pan out with the camera and you see the fishing boats and the sailboats, it's just spectacular here. So here we are. This is right above the ferry landing, and there's a cafe around the corner where you can have a cappuccino or a glass of wine or a beer, whatever your choice is. And it's just, you just can't beat this here. We've had 8 days in a row of fantastic weather, and it doesn't look like it's yet to stop. So when we leave here and we go back, we're going to have a tough time. Although California weather is pretty good most of the year, I don't see how it could be any better than it is right here today in Cornwall. So take your vacations down here where no tourists go for the most part, other than the Brits themselves that know about this. It's like the British Riviera down on the Channel side of Cornwall. Spectacular. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Cliff.
Down.
próximo yo. All right. This is Cliff Coleman. It's 2005, and I'm here with my friend Sergio Yuppie from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Sergio, how old are you?
I have 30 years old.
You're 30 years old, and how many of those have you been skateboarding?
I skating like 18 years.
18 years you've been skateboarding.
Yes.
Sergio, I consider you, and I've seen many skateboarders, in my opinion, you're the very best slider I've ever seen, bar none, and there are some great sliders in the world. What drives you? ¿Qué es incentive para be so good?
Because I am professional skateboarder, I love my lifestyle, you know.
Yeah.
But to meet new people, skating the different styles, is the surprise for me to meet the guys the UK, because the guys have good techniques for slides, the hands, the asphalts. But I think if for next year, one more time here with the Cliff.
Sergio wants to come back, so do I. If we can make this in a yearly event, we'll certainly do so. There's no reason not to come back here. This is heaven. Sergio basically says that he's been impressed greatly by the techniques of the British sliders, especially with their hands-on-the-ground techniques. Sergio's a master of both hands down and no hands on the ground slides, and his techniques are going to be copied widely by many wherever he goes. It's already happening here in the UK. His creative push is driving others to display their own creativity in their slides. And we saw a lot of new slides on this tour here in 2005 over here in England. The Faltown guys are on the cutting edge here, but there are lots of people trying new things. And this year we noticed that there were 4 new young boys out there. We had the return of Ollie Benz, but we also had Frankie, Jack, and Harry, and we had Casper, Darren Rathbone's son, too. Now that's 5 kids that are 9 and 10 years old, and they're all sliders, and they were busting some moves trying to win the contest for the youth division at Shiner in Bristol. Sergio, por favor, what do you think about the Hoban Niños in the skateboarding, like Ollie, Frankie, Jack?
It's very happy because in Brazil I have 2 sons, like the good skaters. But it's good because when I see the boys like Ollie, I can see like my kids is the future, the skaters, the UK, the sliders, you know. But I think next years, more or less 10 years later, the kids, the skater, they're here with my Brazilian kids.
Here you go, Casper. I hope so. He's taking after the lizard crew over there, Johnny. I don't know what that is all about. Comes from Darren Rathbone and John Warburton. And I've tried to figure them out. It's a little hard. Sergio has 2 children. We got to first ask him how old they are and what their names are.
Sergio Jr., like 10 years old, and Fernando, 12 years old.
So he has 2 sons, aged 10 and 12. Both of them are sliders. And what age did the youngest one learn how to slide?
I think like 3 years is starting the skating.
And how old when he learned to slide?
My kids?
Sí.
I don't know.
5, 6 probably. Con técnicas de slide?
6 years.
Okay, when his children were 6, they were sliding. Now this is something that anybody can learn to do. Men or women, young or old. You don't have to be macho guy to do this one. Anybody can. Just takes a little flexibility and the desire to have a good time. When we go out, we don't tell anybody, hey, you're not good enough, you can't hang with us. We welcome everybody. As long as they have a decent attitude, it doesn't make you a good person when you're a good skateboarder. So maybe we want to hang out with some good people, even if they're not great skateboarders. So we let them come with us. We teach them our techniques if they're willing, and then we make them safer. And chances are they'll learn or develop something on their own and then share it with us later. That way our whole group improves instead of just having 1 or 2 hotshots in the crew. And the Faltown Crew is very much like this too. Every guy on there, on their team, let's see, there's Alex and Andy, and there's Chris, and there's Tom, and there's Dom, and there's Mark, and there's Ollie. All of them are good. You can pick any one on any day and watch them, and you can ask them to do any slide, and they'll all do them. It's just something that they have, and it's because they push each other and they teach each other. So the group mind is much better than just one individual. You'll never learn as fast as when you're out there with your friends, and that's what happens when we come over here. We hope to inspire the Brits to do new things and to show us greater techniques, and we weren't disappointed at all. They are as good as anybody in the world right now, maybe just a hair behind the Brazilians, who have such fantastic standing techniques with nose manual slides and 360 manual slides, tail slides on 0 wheels just on the wood of the tail, and many other techniques. But I'm sure when we come back next year, we're going to see many people doing these things. You think so too?
Yes, absolutely. I think the next years the Faltown guys more techniques they slides up, but it's good skaters.
Yeah, the Faltown guys are
Absolutely.
good skaters. We want to say also, there's some good skaters up in the Harpenden and St. Albans area for Essence. We haven't mentioned them much. My good buddy Pete's on a European tour with his girlfriend right now for a few free rides in France and Switzerland. But there are also great sliders up there. Pete won the slide contest down here and showed that the skill level is widespread here in England. Faltown might be the leading edge, but there are many good sliders here. We had people come from the east side of England and drive 8 or 9 hours to share the weekend with us, and that's a long ways to go on small winding roads. And we were happy they came all the way. That was a lot of fun. We went up to hang out with the Lush crew for an entire week up in Sheffield and saw Sergio do 5 flowing, flawless, no hesitation, stand-up 360 slides in a row. That's an 1800 slide, I think, right?
Yes.
New math is tough. But imagine 5 stand-up 360s without any hesitation in the middle down the steepest street in the whole city. Everybody's got a lot of video. There's new tricks that have been brought out here at the shows, and we're going to see those, and we're going to ask everybody there, including you with this film or tape or whatever it is, please post it on the internet for others to see. There may be 30 of us at each festival here, but in the rest of the world, they're watching and listening and reading the post to find out what's going on here because they want to be like the Faltown guys. Anyway, Sergio and I are signing out here. We're a little bit whooped after 20 days here, and we'll be looking forward to getting home and tending to the garden.
If you want more, just give us a shout, I'd get it for you.
Cool.
Neil.